right, you guys. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make sure you're properly pushing yourself in the gym. All right, I see way too many people playing around in the gym. Okay, you wasting your time, you wasting everybody's time. What you doing? So I'm going to show you guys how to make sure you're properly pushing yourself in the gym. What does that mean? That means there's a number of ways for you to push yourself in the gym, whether it be the weight that you're using, whether it be the amount of resistance that you have, whether it be how slow you're doing the movement. Okay, we definitely want to make sure that with everything that we do, our form is of the utmost importance, okay? We are leading with form. I don't want you guys in there ego lifting and trying to go super heavy when that's not where you need to be. But the point is for your workout to be challenging, all right? You want it to be doable. You don't want to be, can't get none of your sets done, but you do want it to be challenging, okay? So let's get into it. Okay, so for example, if we're doing goblet squats and let's say I give you 3 sets of 10 reps, okay? If you're doing 10 reps, that means that you need the weight to be pretty reasonable. You don't want it to be super light like a 10-pound weight because we all know that you can squat more than 10 pounds. However, you probably don't want it to be something that's like 100 pounds because 100 pounds for 10 reps, you're not going to be able to get to the end of those reps. It's going to be looking sloppy. It's going to be messy, okay? The point is that you want to pick a weight where the last 2 to 3 reps feel like a challenge. Not too much of a challenge to the point where you can't get the weight up. I want you to have to fight just a little bit, but get it up, okay? If you get to your last 2 reps and you still easy breezy beautiful, it's too light. And if you get to the last 2 reps and you cannot keep going any further, then your weight is probably too heavy. So I want you to keep that in mind. For the first week of your workouts, you may have to do a test run on all of your exercises just to see what weight you should be in, okay? If you hit the move and feel like this is too light, switch it out. If you hit that move and feel like it's too light, switch it out until you figure out, okay, this seems like a nice starting point for me. And I want you to have that be your first week's starting point. And then for the following week, the goal is to increase 5 pounds or so. So the following week, you're going to increase your pounds. You're going to track it in your app. And if you're able to hit all those reps, cool, then you know you need to go up the following week, okay? And if you're not able to hit all those reps or you feel like you were still struggling, maybe you're at that weight for 2 weeks, okay? It just depends, but you are going to be tracking your weights so that you can keep track on how each thing is feeling so that you can increase, decrease, or stay where you're at for the following week, okay? The goal is to definitely increase gradually but progressively. Okay, so we spoke about if I gave you an exercise that has 10 reps, right? You want the weight to be pretty doable for all those 10 reps. But let's say I give you something that's 3 to 5 reps. That's way fewer reps. You might be able to do a lot more effort. So you would be picking a weight that is much heavier than the weight that you would be picking if you're doing 10 reps because you only have 3 to 5 reps to pump out. So I really want all those reps. I want them to be max effort. I want you to be fighting for those reps, okay? Not one of those reps should be feeling easy breezy beautiful. I want you to be lifting some weight, right? And if you're somewhere in the middle range between 6 to 8 reps, then you're probably going to be somewhere in the middle, okay? So nothing that's super, super heavy and nothing that's super, super light. You're in a good point because, again, the goal is to always have those last 2 reps feeling like a little bit of a challenge so that you have some room for improvement, okay? So outside of doing certain sets, certain reps, I do want you guys to keep in mind that our body strength is different proportionally throughout, okay? So your lower body might be stronger than your upper body. Your shoulders might be stronger than your back. Your glutes might be stronger than your legs. It just depends. We all are different individuals. However, most of the time, your lower body can lift way more weight than the upper body, okay? So when it comes to you doing lower body movements like squats, lunges, things of that nature, you're going to be able to manage a way heavier weight than you would on your upper body, right? But when it comes to the upper body, movements that target your chest or your back can usually tolerate much higher weight than the weight that your shoulders, your biceps, your triceps can tolerate. And the reason for that is these are smaller muscles, okay? These are smaller muscles, but that doesn't mean that if you're doing 5 pounds for your shoulders, that you're gonna go in and do 5 pounds for your bent over rows. You're absolutely not. You're gonna bring 2 sets of weights over to your area and you're going to swap out the weights that you use for the different parts of your upper body movement, okay? We're not aiming for convenience here. Oh, it's easier. No. Okay? We are here to challenge ourselves. We have 3 days in the gym. We have 60 minutes in the gym. We have however much time we are dedicating in the gym. We're not here to play around. You can do that at home. Okay? So keep that in mind that your upper body exercises may vary versus your chest, your back. So for moves like the chest press, for moves like the lat pull down, for moves like the bent over rows, you can go heavier weights. For bent over rows, you probably want to start somewhere at 20 pounds. For the lat pull down, you probably want to start no lesser than 50 pounds. For the chest press, that's something that you kind of have to build your technique up to. So you probably can start again with 15 plus pounds. But for movements that are going to be targeting your biceps, for moves that are going to be targeting your triceps, for moves that are going to be targeting your shoulders when you're doing lateral arm raises. That's probably going to be somewhere from 5 to 10 pounds. Okay, it's going to be a much lighter scale. You're going to be able to increase those weights on a much slower scale, but that's because those are smaller muscles. All right. Now, also kind of going back to the lower body, like I said, you can use heavier weights when you're doing your lower body, but when you're doing single leg exercises, for instance, lunges, or split squats or things that require balance to a certain extent, you may have to start at a lighter weight just until you get your balance together. You will be able to work your way up pretty fast on those movements, but I just want you to keep in mind when you are doing single leg unilateral movements that you may have to start at a lower weight just because it's a balance thing. And I already told you guys at the beginning that form is important, okay? I'm not telling you guys to be pushing yourself in the gym and have your form looking out of whack. That's a bad representation to me. All right, that's not what I'm telling you to do. What I'm telling you is that I want you to challenge yourself with your movements, but your form needs to stay crisp. It needs to stay tight. I need you to have that mind muscle connection because again, if you're doing these movements incorrectly, they're not even benefiting you the way that they need to, okay? So you want to make sure that your form is proper. Take videos, look at yourself in the mirror as you increase your weight. And again, as just a final reminder, you do want to make sure that you're increasing your weights week by week by week, at least 5 pounds or so. Track your weight so that you know where you are. Make note of how hard or how easy that movement was so that you know the next week, okay, maybe I can go up 10 pounds. Maybe I can only go up 2.5, okay? But I do want you guys to be tracking your weight so that we can continue to get stronger and build those muscles and burn that fat, all right? I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope that it benefits your workout.